hello, hello, I'm just gonna start talking because I've noticed that if I don't, that's when this funny sound happens.
Oh, how
So
odd. Like the
yeah, I
white
think
noise. It's strange, isn't it?
yeah, it's sort of like the microphone is trying to pick up something
Yeah.
straight away. So yeah, so hello, hello, even if nobody's watching us just yet. Um, yeah, so we're doing live readings today. We shall see if anyone joins. It is a different day than usual, but maybe it's good. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, holiday season hasn't started yet. I think there might only be 1 week left. And then it's the 6 weeks kids' holidays in the UK.
6 weeks.
Yeah. And I think that starts around like the 20th. So
Okay.
that might change from next week because people might be on holiday. I'll just check the.
Yeah, next week is the last week that I'll be doing this today and next week because then I'm
Can you hear
taking a
that?
sabbatical. Or whatever you call it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
whoever's watching, if you have any questions regarding your career, spiritual path, personal growth, that kind of stuff, we would love to pull some cards for you. You have today and probably next week left, and then I don't know. Well, I definitely won't be here. Can't speak for you, Mel. But yeah, I'll be taking time off for the summer, probably until mid-September. So yeah. And if you're watching from my Facebook group, please just state your name before you send any comment or question, because otherwise we don't know who you are, or just say hello, even if you don't have a question. That is totally fine. So we're on to do readings until 6 p.m. By the way, 6 p.m. UK, of course, time. I've just got my usual angel cards and those divine directions. I seem to be taking them quite often now whenever we do those lives.
Yeah, they're nice, those smaller ones. I've got the Angel Wisdom Tarot. It's a Radley Valentine one.
Yeah.
This one today. So this is the huge. I mean, it's lovely, but it's the huge deck that's quite large, and they're quite thick cards. They're a little bit harder to shuffle with for anybody that likes to get new tarot decks. I would recommend it. It's a lovely deck, but it's just not the easiest one to shuffle with.
Mm-hmm.
I have to really sort of like open my hand wide, and then I tend to drop them quite a lot.
Yeah. He's gonna have a new deck coming out this year.
Oh, really?
Called Angels and Auras.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I don't know if I'll buy it yet. It's not coming out until, I don't know, September, if not October this year. But I really like the collaboration because he's working with a guy who is an expert on aura readings.
Okay.
So he's been doing that work for a long time, since he was young, really, like a teenager, if not younger. That he had this was his, let's say, thing, his talent that just naturally came to him, was seeing people's auras. And now they've started working together, and they noticed how there are similarities now what that means, which angel connects to as well, which angel connection.
Oh, your sound just went funny then, Kat.
Oh,
Now it's okay.
okay.
Now I can hear you again. Yeah.
Okay. So they've just merged this meaning of what the aura color means and which angelic energy it relates to as well. They've noticed that there are similarities, and they've created this deck on the back of that. So I thought that's interesting.
I will have a little look out for that. Then I do always like to get a new deck. I do like Radley Valentine stuff as well. He's done some really nice stuff.
It's gonna be the same size though because it's Hay House.
Oh,
But it's not a tarot deck. It's an oracle. So,
yeah.
a bit easier to handle, I think, because of less cards.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can attempt to get your name right. Hi, is it Aria? 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 If I've got that completely wrong. Thanks for joining us. So what we're doing tonight is we specialize in career readings or readings about your spiritual path. So we can do a reading for you, a general reading for your career or a general reading for your spiritual path. So let us know. Or if you've got something quite specific in mind, then feel free to ask it. If you've got a specific question, drop it in the comments and then we can pull some cards for you.
I'll just get my angel cards ready. Yeah, I don't know if that thing that you said you didn't hear me. I think my network is playing up recently quite a bit, actually.
You're fine now. It only went muffled literally just for 5 seconds.
Because I was like moving my hands like this. I don't know. Don't know why that would make a difference, but
okay, so what's coming next for me? So is that work-wise? Is that in your job? If you just say just let us know with a yes or a no.
Is there something that you're waiting for? I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, Era. Is there something that you're waiting to hear about or expecting or hoping for? Let us know, and then that would help us narrow down a little bit as to what we're asking about when it comes to, again, spiritual path, personal growth, or career.
Hi,
hello,
Sasha.
Yeah, it has been a while that you have joined us, as much as I can remember. That's the thing. Probably must have been a long time ago if I can't even remember exactly. But yeah, thank you for joining. If you have a question about your career, personal growth, or spiritual path, let us know. We've got tarot cards, we've got angel cards. Right, Era. So just, we need to clarify, as we always tell everyone who joins us, that's why we put the little poster on our readings, just to say we only do career as well as personal growth or spiritual path. So it sounds to me like this is a relationship question, which we're not covering on our channel. Just if you could just hang on. Oh, there's another one. Sorry. Oh, okay. So you're asking. Oh, wait, that's Sasha. Because I'm so sorry. I keep looking at the wrong. Oh, okay. Yeah. Since I asked you what you're waiting for, yes, I get you. Okay, so career/spiritual message. Okay. Which one is it? Which one is it? Do you want career? Is there anything that you're wondering about in regards to career? Or are you trying to grow, develop spiritually in any way, and you have questions on that? Whilst we wait, we'll just address Sasha's question, because from what I can see, Sasha's asking about a part-time job. Okay.
Okay, right.
So I'm gonna ask Sasha, because instead of asking when, I like to ask how, or what could be done, or what might be blocking you from finding that next part-time job. Because then if we address any blocks, the timeline might change. So let's just see what's there for that. So Sasha, are you in any way quite picky in what part-time job you're looking for? Because I feel like you're maybe a little bit specific in the kind of job that you want to do. Is it do you have very strict, let's say, requirements? Just let me know. Because, okay, so the cards that I have for you, Sasha, with your questions, they kind of like lead on to what I just asked you about, whether you have very strict requirements, because I feel like you're perhaps limiting yourself a little bit, maybe. Although, I don't know, when I said that limiting bit, I actually felt like that might not be true, but it might be that it will just take a little bit longer, or you might need to just open up a little bit to maybe some other options as well. The cards that I have for you are, so first let's start with what you're doing right, or what the strengths are. And you have the power and intention card, and also signs and reminders. And that tells me that you're very particular with what you're looking for and what you're going for, and that perhaps you have been receiving some signs and reminders about this part-time job that you're looking for, whether it's from spirit, or maybe even someone from your environment, or it might be just your own intuition speaking to you and trying to give you a few clues. I don't know if you've been actually doing that. Have you been meditating on the options in any way? Because I feel like whether you're doing it or not, your heart wants you, because this is in a heart position, your heart wants you to pay attention to the signs and reminders that you're receiving. So maybe what I'm saying now is actually a reminder for you. Maybe it's something that someone else has said when it comes to being very strict to your requirements. So the only challenge, which is interesting one, because the challenge with finding the right job is joy and contentment. But all of these cards, they kind of they lead me back to what I said at the beginning when I was shuffling them. I feel like there's perhaps a little bit too strict of requirements that you have when it comes to that part-time job that you're looking for. Don't forget that part-time jobs are sorry, let me just. Right. Okay. So, yeah. So you're looking, any job that you find, whether it's part-time or full-time, I always like to remind others and myself also that it doesn't have to be forever. You never know where one job will lead you It might lead you to a different job. It might actually clarify some things. It might even come out to be different than you think it will be from the description, So I would suggest that you open up a little bit more to the options and be a little bit, even if there are things that are not 100% what you would like to do, give them a try, because I feel like those are the things that are just stopping you, because otherwise it will be so much easier to just find a job for you because of that power and intention, and also signs and reminders. So if you haven't heard what I said before, because I can see your message about being behind in the chat, then you can always watch on replay. But yeah, from what I can see, the cards are saying just, relax your requirements a little bit, and it will turn out to be right for you, basically, in some way. So I hope that helps.
It's interesting because I always, whenever you're talking and giving the reading, I'm looking at the cards, and in my head I'm saying exactly what you're saying. Just as you were saying that, I was like, I was going to say that, because I've got the same kind of, probably different cards, but giving me this exactly the same message. And the first card is reminding you to just, if things are a bit tough for you at the moment in general, that's going to impact you looking for a job, because when it feels like a struggle, when we're like, why can't I find something? It's really hard work. We can get really trapped in that feeling of, oh, I'm never going to find anything. This is really difficult. It brings our vibration down. And unfortunately then, at the worst possible time, that then prevents you from finding something, because what happens on the inside is what is reflected in our external reality. And if we're feeling really deflated and fed up, that will impact you being able to actually find the job that you're looking for. So just spend a little bit of time working on yourself first, even if that takes you away from searching for jobs. It doesn't have to be for long. Just spend, an hour or two working on yourself, as in meditating, putting some lovely relaxing music on. Tell yourself that you will find a fabulous job that you love. It is going to be okay, and get yourself in that space. Then hit the search button on Google or wherever you go to look for a job. When you're in that space, you'll see a lot more interesting jobs when you work on your field first and you get into that higher vibration. And then exactly the same as Kat, I'm seeing like the Justice card is calling for balance, and I'm feeling that it's kind of saying, if you look for your dream job, you might not find it, but write down the things that you are non-compromisable. So what's your minimum salary that you can afford? What kind of industry do you want to work with, and what type of job do you want to do? And just keep that quite broad. And they're the things that you're not going to compromise on. And then write down a few things that you would like, and then the things that you might compromise on. So do you know what? If it doesn't tick these boxes, I'm okay with that, as long as it ticks these, and I'd quite like some of this. Because sometimes on paper, a job might sound a bit like, well, that might be okay. But once you're in at a company, you might be like, oh my God, I really love this. My advice would be, if something looks pretty good, go for it. Apply for it. If you get offered it, you can say no. You don't have to get offered a job and say yes. If you feel like, I didn't vibe with them in the interview, I'm not quite sure, that's fine. You can just say no. But you might need to stretch yourself a little bit. And you will be successful then. I'm seeing a card of success if you are a little bit more maybe realistic, because you don't really know what something's going to be like until you get in the door. But also you're called to sort of, I feel like this is asking you to maybe apply for stuff that you might not think you can do, because this card is about leadership and stepping into your power. So if you see a job and you think, oh, I quite like that, but I can't do that, that's a bit of a stretch, apply for it. Just apply for it, because there might be a job out there that you're being guided to that is a little bit of an expansion of the comfort zone. If you see something like that, go for it, because with the card, the Emperor, this is about strength, power, leadership. It's suggesting to me you just need to push yourself a little bit, because there might be something out there that you would pass by and it could be really good for you. Okay, Fasha. Right, let's catch up with comments.
All right. So next era, and please let me know if I'm not saying your name right. I hope that's correct. So you've said that you're not sure with the career question because all the jobs you have had have not worked out. So what should I do? So I have pulled 3 angel cards for you, and whilst I was shuffling, I felt like the opening message is about you building some boundaries. So I feel like the jobs that haven't worked out previously, perhaps there was some sort of an underlying situation at all, like each time or most of the time, where you were too, I want to say, maybe a little bit submissive to people, whether it's the co-workers or your bosses maybe were a little bit overpowering, over controlling, and it's almost like those situations were trying to challenge you to start building your boundaries a little bit. So that's one. Now on the back of that, the cards that I pulled obviously also kind of build on what I just said. You have, so let's start with the strengths. So you have a strength of manifestation, and that actually tells me that you're quite clear on what it is that you want to do. Maybe not in a sense that it translates into a very specific job that you know you want to do, because what you want to do might be expressed in different kinds of companies, jobs. But I feel like you've got quite a perhaps strong calling, or something that you've been trying to achieve or you've been working on, even if it's just working on behind closed doors, at home. Maybe you were like kind of dreaming up your ideal career kind of activity, right? So I feel like there's quite a strong desire, let's say, to do something in particular, which is your strength. So it's a good thing to stay and get hold of it, and keep hold of that. The only, well, the heart's desire is honesty and communication. So I feel like you might need to be a little bit open about what it is exactly that you want in regards to what I just said here. And that could relate to, situations where you are already in the job, where you're not honestly communicating your stance, let's say, or your opinion or your view of things. This can also mean communication and honesty with yourself. So are you honest with yourself in a sense of, am I choosing the right path? Am I maybe underselling myself? Am I going for jobs that, are not as, where you're not reaching your potential because maybe you just don't have that confidence just yet? So I feel like there are quite a few questions that basically your heart is asking you to ask yourself. And I hope you're still there, by the way. If not, then maybe you'll watch this on replay, because I forgot to ask at the beginning. And the challenge card that you have is the inner child healing. So that kind of brings me back to what I said at the beginning of maybe not building your boundaries, or not having the boundaries built just yet. Perhaps there is something from your childhood that triggers those, this lack of boundaries, or this lack of confidence, whatever it is for you, you know what that is. But I feel like this is what is kind of maybe stopping you from feeling fulfilled in those roles that you've been doing so far. So have a little look at that. Maybe journal a little bit about it, because I'm pretty sure that whilst I'm talking about this, some things will come to your mind. So just write them down. And then just be, as the other card says, honest with yourself, and see how you can work through it. Because if you do, then it will become easier. It will become easier on the job front. So I hope that helps.
Okay, so Era, I've got some cards for you here as well, and it's quite interesting, really. I just try to get some guidance on, what can you do Should you be looking for something different because you've said that what you've done in the past hasn't worked out? So what you don't want is more of the same, because you'll just end up with more things that don't work out. I'm seeing you as somebody quite independent, and quite, I don't know if you're a fire sign or if you've got those sorts of qualities, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but, you know, seeing you as somebody who's quite capable of getting things done. And if you've been feeling like you've been working in more of a stressful or restrictive environment, that's going to just zap all your energy, and it's not going to do you any good at all. Although you've got this independence about you and you're driven, I'm also seeing a card here suggesting a partnership. Now, this could be that you're being guided to try something on a self-employed basis, working with another person. It doesn't necessarily have to be self-employment though, but what you need is to find somebody you can really, really vibe well with, who you can share ideas with, who respects you, who you can have a good working relationship with. And I feel like that's been missing in the past. So you need to find the right person to work with who, you know, helps you to stay driven, and to be confident in your own abilities as well. What the cards are suggesting is something different. So we've got the Knight of Swords here, which is all about change. This is about bringing in complete change. It's like you rip up the rule book and you say, no, I don't care if I've done that before. I'm going to go down this route. So that might suggest a change into self-employment, actually, or it might just say try something different. But be brave, because if you choose something that's similar to what you've done, the situation's not going to get any better. But you've got the drive and the confidence to give something new a try. But see if you can find something where you will be working with someone else. And don't be afraid to try something you haven't done before. And also, I'm seeing moving into less challenging times. So if you have found work a real cause of stress, a real cause of mental anguish, and it's affected you mentally with your mental health, that will change, but only if you make a different decision on what you're going to be going forward. So try not to choose a really horrible, stressful environment. Try and choose something that's kind of nice and not easy, as in not difficult, as in not stressful. So with the Six of Swords, it's all about moving away from drama and negativity and moving into something that's just a bit more peaceful, is probably the best word to use there. Okay. And you're welcome, Sasha. Good luck with that.
Okay, yeah, that's the, yeah. Thank you for joining. You're most welcome, Era.
I'm so sorry if we've been getting your name wrong.
Yeah.
Aria.
Okay, so we've got Pooja asking for any message for spiritual path. So is that just Era? Okay,
Oh,
thanks.
awesome.
Thanks,
Right.
Era. That's good. Okay, so it's a very open question. So I can pull a card for you, Pooja, asking about your spiritual path. I feel like there's something that perhaps you could maybe focus on, or just maybe not focus, or just keep focusing, continue doing, because I don't feel like there's anything in particular that you need to change. I don't know how your spiritual path looks like, how your practice looks like, what it is exactly that you're looking for, as it's a very general question. But let's see what to focus on, I guess, or just keep in mind. Oh, so you've got signs and reminders. Keep keep an eye out for signs, Pooja. I feel like you have been receiving quite a lot of signs. Maybe you've been doubting them a little bit. I don't know. Let me know. Or you haven't been doubting them. I don't know. Have you been writing them down? Because a lot of that has been happening. And it could come through other people, the messages that they're giving you, the conversations that you're having with other people might be repeating, and there might be some patterns that you're noticing in that, but maybe haven't paid that much attention to. Let me know. Although I don't feel like you haven't been paying attention to it. If anything, this kind of feels like a confirmation. You're not able to decode them. Are you making it a little bit too complicated, Pooja? Because I feel like you might be trying to look for a little bit more of a meaning than there actually is. Okay, signs from birds. So what did you have a little notice as to? It's funny because actually on this card we do have birds.
I noticed that.
Yeah. You know, sometimes seeing birds is just a confirmation spirit saying hi. It doesn't have to mean anything in particular. Especially I think when we're opening up and we just want that confirmation, that sort of sign, some sort of a message, communication from spirit, and they're just sending birds. They definitely do send birds to me as well, just to say hi. You know, sometimes you might be thinking about something in particular and then you see a bird. You know, pay attention if that is what happens, but otherwise don't make it too complicated, because I feel like it's just saying, spirit is just saying, hello, I'm right here. You wanted that sign, this is your sign, and that's it, really. Oh, okay. Squirrel, yeah, so that just kind of makes me feel like you're just getting a lot of hellos. Honestly, that's how I'm seeing it. So just, enjoy it, and you can then from that you can build on by starting to ask specific questions if you want, and then just see what happens. But if anything, this is your confirmation.
Okay, so I've pulled a couple of cards as well for you, Pooja, just to get some general guidance on what you need to know, what does Spirit suggest for you on your spiritual path in general. And you're being called to find either someone or a group of people who you can talk to about spirituality. So I don't know if you've got like a circle around you of people who you can open up to and say, look, I've experienced this, I've experienced that, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. But it would be really beneficial if you can find people. If you don't have anyone local to you, don't worry, because there's loads of online groups. Facebook is great for groups of people getting together to talk about spirituality, spiritual awakening, signs from their spirit guides. There's all sorts. But I feel like it would be a real benefit for you to have people, like-minded people around you who can help, you can share experiences with. And also I've got a card that's the Ace of Swords, but this is all about new ideas coming in. So you may notice that you have flashes of inspiration starting to come in and you don't know where it's come from. So say, for example, you might suddenly feel like, oh, I really feel like I want to learn Reiki, or I really feel like I want to read a book about crystals, or I want to start learning about auras and what they mean. So if you get these sudden thoughts of wanting to do something new or learn something new or join a group or attend a class or go and have a sound bath or something like that, I feel like they're coming to you for a reason, and you might start noticing more of them. So don't dismiss them, do act on them if you get thoughts of joining a group or taking something up that helps you with your spiritual growth, because it's coming to you for a reason.
Pooja, whilst Mel was talking about groups and things, I thought I'll share with you my group on Facebook, which is called Angel Club. And if you feel called, you can just feel free to join, because all I do in there is talk about angels and spiritual development. And yeah, I try to encourage people to participate, share their stories, or at least, kind of participate and then be engaged with what I share with people. It's a very nice group. So if you're not, if you don't have any ideas as to which group to access right now to join, if you're not in any other groups, then feel free, and I'll just let you in.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah, it's really important to have other people you can share things with. And, I'm really lucky. I've got loads of people around me, but then I ordered them. I was going to say, because I asked the universe, I just say, look, bring me new friends that are into spiritual stuff who I can talk to about all this. And I just keep meeting people who are like, oh, I'm really into this. People that you wouldn't expect to be. I just have random conversations with people, and we just talk about spiritual things. I met a guy the other day who was talking about spirituality, and he's like, oh my God, I don't get to talk to people about this very often because everyone thinks I'm weird. I was like, there's nothing wrong with being weird. I'm weird with you. It's all good.
Yeah, they're weird. Okay.
Yeah, we need to have people to talk to. We need people we can talk to about crystals and frequency and energy and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, send out a request or an order.
Yeah, order it from the universe.
Yeah, and you'll be guided. It was same with me. I was also asking for people to come my way with whom I can connect, and they did.
Yeah.
Okay, you're most welcome. And we wish you all the best. I think that's actually perfect because looks like nobody's left now watching, and it's 6 p.m.
Perfect timing. There you go.
So we're going to say bye-bye, and see you next time.
Yeah, see you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.